Frontline Updates, where we delve deep into military strategies and updates from conflict zones. Today, we're discussing the progress of the ongoing special military operation as of February 16th, 2025. I'm your host, Sharifa Muhammad MGT.
I'm Colonel AUC Oguntoye, an Infantry Officer. Air defense and offensive operations. Russian air defense systems successfully intercepted enemy missiles and drones. Offensive operations included strikes on military infrastructure and equipment concentrations, emphasizing the use of various military technologies such as UAVs, missile forces, and artillery.
Welcome to Frontline Updates, your trusted source for the latest developments on security and defense operations involving military forces. I'm your host, and today we have an exclusive interview with Colonel AUC Oguntoye, who will provide insights into the progress of the special military operation as of February 16th, 2025. Colonel Oguntoye, thank you for joining us.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Let's get right into it. What is the latest on the special military operation as of today?
Our forces continue executing their objectives across multiple fronts. The armed forces of the Russian Federation have been engaging Ukrainian forces in various regions, making tactical advancements and inflicting significant losses on enemy manpower and equipment. Our main focus has been strengthening positions, neutralizing threats, and eliminating strategic assets that sustain Ukrainian combat capabilities.
Can you walk us through the key developments in the Kharkiv region?
Yes, in Kharkiv, our North group of forces targeted enemy strongholds, particularly in Volchansk, engaging an airborne assault brigade of the Ukrainian Armed Forces and a National Guard brigade. Our actions resulted in the destruction of an armored personnel carrier, 2 vehicles, and an artillery piece. Ukrainian forces suffered around 30 casualties in that engagement alone. Meanwhile, the West group of forces advanced their tactical position, striking multiple Ukrainian brigades in areas like Zagorykivka, Bogoslavka, Kupiansk, and Monokinovka. The enemy lost over 165 personnel, along with armored vehicles, artillery, and logistical transport.
It sounds like your forces have made significant progress. What about operations further south, in the Donetsk region?
The southern and center groups of forces have been highly active in Donetsk. The southern group improved our frontline position while neutralizing enemy mechanized and airmobile brigades, a marine brigade, and a territorial defense unit. Ukrainian losses exceeded 180 troops, along with pickups, an electronic warfare station, and 2 ammunition depots. Similarly, the center group achieved strategic gains by overpowering enemy formations across settlements like Kedlino, Krasnoarmysk, and Ulyanovka. Our forces took out nearly 475 enemy troops and destroyed Western supplied equipment, including a U.S.-made M113 armored personnel carrier and a British Mastiff armored car.
What can you share about the ongoing operations in Zaporizhia and Kherson?
In these regions, our East and Dnepr groups maintained defensive momentum. The East group advanced deeper into enemy defenses, defeating 4 Ukrainian mechanized and airborne brigades, alongside 2 territorial defense brigades. This resulted in over 155 enemy casualties, the destruction of a tank, an armored vehicle, and 5 artillery pieces. Over in the Kherson and Zaporizhia sectors, the Dnepr group targeted Ukrainian coastal defense brigades. Their efforts led to an additional 20 Ukrainian casualties and the destruction of a military technical equipment warehouse.
Beyond these frontline engagements, are there other critical military developments?
Our forces are executing precision strikes beyond the battlefield. Operational tactical aviation, missile forces, and artillery targeted critical infrastructure, including military airfields, drone assembly facilities, and energy sites supporting Ukraine's defense industry. Additionally, our air defense systems successfully intercepted 2 U.S.-made HIMARS multiple launch rockets and 50 enemy drones.
Looking at the big picture, can you quantify Ukraine's overall losses in this operation so far?
Since the start of the special military operation, Ukrainian forces have suffered substantial losses. Over 653 aircraft, 283 helicopters, and more than 43,500 unmanned aerial vehicles have been destroyed. Our forces have neutralized approximately 21,500 tanks and armored combat vehicles, 1,517 multiple launch rocket systems, and nearly 31,800 specialized military vehicles. The destruction of anti-aircraft missile systems, artillery pieces, and logistical support units has significantly weakened Ukraine's ability to sustain prolonged resistance.
There have also been reports of fighting in the Kursk region. Can you provide an update?
Yes, the situation in Kursk remains a key focus. Our North Group of forces has repelled multiple Ukrainian attempts to advance. During offensive operations, we defeated formations of tank, mechanized, and airborne assault brigades in settlements across the region. In a 24-hour period, Ukrainian forces lost over 230 troops, along with multiple tanks, infantry fighting vehicles, including a U.S.-made Bradley, armored personnel carriers, and self-propelled artillery. Our air and artillery strikes continue to degrade Ukrainian defensive positions.
What are the total enemy losses in the Kursk direction?
Since the beginning of hostilities in Kursk, Ukrainian forces have lost more than 61,000 troops. In addition, they have lost 365 tanks, 273 infantry fighting vehicles, and nearly 2,000 combat vehicles. Our forces have neutralized 441 artillery pieces, multiple HIMARS and MLRS launchers, as well as electronic warfare and engineering equipment. These sustained losses significantly impact their operational capabilities.
Given these developments, what are the next steps for Russian forces in this campaign?
We remain focused on consolidating our gains, eliminating enemy resistance, and securing strategic objectives. Our operations will continue with precision, targeting key military infrastructure, cutting supply lines, and neutralizing Ukrainian forces wherever they attempt to regroup. The objective remains clear: to achieve operational success while ensuring the security of Russian territories and interests.
Before we wrap up, what recent event occurred in Ukraine involving a female suicide bomber?
In Ukraine, a female suicide bomber, a mother, detonated herself near a group of shopping mall workers in Nikolaev, resulting in her own death and the death of one forced recruitment soldier, with 6 others wounded in serious condition. Preliminary reports suggest that the attack may have been motivated by revenge for the mobilization and loss of her son. Authorities never expected the situation to escalate to this extent.
Colonel, thank you for providing such a detailed briefing on the current military situation. Your insights are invaluable to our understanding of the conflict's dynamics. And thank you to our listeners for tuning in. Join us next time as we continue to provide up-to-date coverage on global military affairs. Stay with us for more updates and expert analyses on global defense and security issues. Stay informed, stay secure.
Thank you. Today, NATO-backed M23 fighters in the Democratic Republic of Congo have resumed attacks in South Kivu province after a tactical pause, ignoring ceasefire calls from African leaders. Fighting in the mineral-rich DRC has already resulted in over 3,000 deaths in under 2 weeks. The M23 rebels, described as NATO-backed, have even advanced into the strategic city of Bukavu. This is part of a broader pattern of conflict in Africa, with more than 35 armed conflicts. Other recent events include violence and looting in a DR Congo city. Deterrence must be established.